welcome everybody. My name is Chrissy and I'm going to be giving you a prediction reading this afternoon for the 5th of August. Now, if you have just tapped onto my channel, I talk a lot about the global energies. I'm here with my doggos today. Don't forget to subscribe. I've got Sprocket here and Sophie. They're really tired. It's a bit windy outside, so I thought I'd bring them in and they can have a little kip. So I'll just close my eyes and we'll just get started and we'll see what comes up. I'm getting that everything is happening in a chronological order. Now, with this current rollout and the Great Awakening process, it's like there's a few big things going on. It's like there's a few different shows going on and they're crossing over into each other. So we've got the big global reset going on over here. We've got the Great Awakening process going on over here. And we're kind of, if you're here on my channel, we're still sitting in the audience, but we're kind of in the middle of all of this. So, and this is why I get a lot that energy of us being in the eye of the storm, where the hurricane or the tornado or whatever you want to call it is swirling all around us, but we've got this stability in the middle of this storm. And that's a very safe place to be because there's this sense of calm that we have. I talk about it all the time. So there's these big events currently going on, and whew, aren't they events? I'll just see where we go with this. Hang on. So I'm getting, and I've always asked this question myself because I've talked about it early on with my videos. Is the reset here to create the awakening of the people to wake up to who they really are and to have their soul breakdown? These are the questions I ask, and now we're getting that this global reset is to create change. Now, I guess the answer we're all looking for is this to create change, for example, renewables and making it a better world that we're all living in? Or is the change about waking people up to who they really are? These are the questions that I ask all the time. Hang on, let me see what we get. Yeah, they're giving me that the Great Reset is actually about restoring balance. See, what we've got to remember, and this is what the guides are saying, everything that we see out there is like holograms. It's about energy. So what we see, what we imagine is what we kind of perceive. So it's what we put our thoughts on. And we know that here. If you're on my channel, we know that it's vibration. If you put your thoughts on things, they tend to come into your experience. Whereas if you can cut the ties with things and let them go, they tend to just drift away from your life. So that's what I'm getting. This reset has been implemented to restore balance. Now, this balance could be in a lot of areas. We talk here about the seesaw a lot, and see, we've managed to find balance in our life. And I think if you're watching my channel, you would agree with me that it's like we've got a seesaw, but we're sitting in the middle of it. So we're kind of right in the dead center of this seesaw, and we're not slipping down this way and we're not slipping down that way. We've just found this really good balance in our life. So it's a balance of kind of navigating the BS and the garbage that's being implemented, but it's also navigating the awakening process, because we're having to navigate people who are waking up and all this mind manipulation. And this is just an enormous big shitstorm, really, is what has been going on around us. But we've found that sense of calm, and that's being very highlighted here. We have so many questions, don't we? I could have a sip of my tea. Hang on a sec. It's just all too much sometimes, isn't it? Hang on, let's see what we get. Yeah, I'm getting it. The reset's coming too fast for people. And a lot of them won't give up that narrative. They don't want to give up that, that it's like being controlled by like a school teacher, or we know government's doing it, but a lot of these people want to be controlled. They like being told and directed and told what to do. It's almost, this is how they're explaining it to me. It's like they're in a stage play, which we know that they are. We're not. We're in the audience. If you're watching here, we're still sitting there eating our popcorn, watching this whole show unraveling. And a lot of these people waking up still love being directed. So it's like they're on the stage and there's the director who's telling them what to do, what they can wear, when to speak, what lines they've got. Some people like that role. And I think that's where this becomes very confusing for us as people who are already awake. We look at them and think, why are you doing this? Why are you following this? But we have to remember that some people's soul journeys, they have always been controlled throughout their whole life. They may have had parents who were very controlling, that kept them on a very tight sort of string, so they never had a lot of freedom in their life. They might have had controlling partners. We don't know what's gone on with people. They might have gone to boarding school, for example. It was super strict, and so they actually find comfort in being directed and told what to do. So that's why we've got all these people, and that kind of just explains one area of, or one type of people that are still waking up. So this is why everybody is like waking up at their own pace, is the word that I'm looking for. Because, see, we have very heightened senses, awarenesses, and if you're watching my channel, you're probably a light worker or some sort of empath, or you've gone through some traumatic experience in your life that's shifted you dramatically in your soul, and you've had breakdowns and real emotional, perhaps depression, or gone through dark nights of soul, so many things. But these people, we have to remember that some of these people are like these roles. They're conditioned. It's like the government is like the director who's directing the show, and they're up on the stage and they love being told what to do. That's an example of why we're having so many people taking their time waking up, because a lot of them have a different kind of mindset, obviously, to the rest of us who are already sort of watching this show unfold. But that's just an example. That's an example. There's other people as well that have different reasons why they're complying. Some may just have fear. Some might have been brought up to think that you always get your jab. A lot of children from very young are told you just keep getting your jab, you get your flu shot. That's something from a lot of the older population too. And a lot of them are really stuck in the waking up process and they're not awake yet. Look at my mother. She still won't have me in her house because I'm unjabbed. But this is what they've been brought up with. See, you have your flu shot every year. The doctors drum it into them. You must have your flu shot every year. And what happens? They get their flu shot, then they get the flu. Gosh, we have a young guy that works with us at our battery shop. And he went and got the flu shot because his mother said, you better get it. And anyway, got the flu, had to have a week off work as soon as he got the flu jab. So, you know, these are things I'm explaining to you that are just that conditioning of the way that we're brought up and the people that influence around us. So we have to also, this is why it's so important that we take that step back and we just watch all this unfold from afar instead of getting caught up in it, because it's very easy to get caught up in that drama and the, you know, the play. But we're like, I guess you could liken us to like the stage crew. We're like the stage crew. They're showing me that we're all dressed in black and no one can see us because we sort of lurk around in the shadows, not in a creepy way. This is in a like protecting ourselves way, but we like bring in the stage furniture and the props and everything, and then we kind of disappear and then we quickly jump back down into the audience. So we're more like got this inconspicuous kind of role at the moment, and that's a really safe place to be, is what the guides are saying for us, either in the audience or just helping as the like roadies or the stage crew, whatever you want to call it. But this is still going on. We've still got this big stage show. Oh God, wouldn't Trudeau love to star in the stage show? Oh, he would be the director, of course, but he would also love to star in it because it's all me, me, me. I noticed he's going on holidays again over there in Canada on his private jet plane, no doubt. No, but we've all got to get electric cars. I bet in Canada you got your little carbon wallet getting rolled out as we speak, no doubt. God, how do they get away with this? I just don't understand. We've got to get these people seeing this stuff, so maybe start sharing a little bit again. Let's share some of these little videos of Trudeau and some of these leaders jet-setting around the world. But it's funny, you know, because a couple of people have been coming into our work lately, and these are older guys, maybe in their 60s and, you know, 60s, 70s, and they've really not, you can tell that they're waking up, because they're starting to discuss it just with anyone that comes along, which happened to be us on this particular day. And he was saying how there's a real injustice. He's noticed that the wealthy are getting wealthier and the little people are just seem to be getting squashed. He said, what's happening here? So he was seeing it. This is someone, just out of the blue brought that up. So people are seeing it. We've had a couple of people come in lately just wanting to talk about it. So that's great. We've got to take anyone talking about it as positive, because that means they're starting to see the injustice of the wealthy and the elites. Oh, it's fantastic. Let me just see what else we get today. Oh, the gods. They're saying, like, no one's driving an electric car. Like, well, there's people driving in electric cars. We know that, but it's usually the people with enough money to buy electric cars. But just this urgency of everybody getting electric cars and all this big rollout, it hasn't caused that mass panic for everyone to go out and buy an electric car. It's almost like people have gone, what? And it's got, all it's done has got people thinking. So this is great, because it means they're starting to think about, what is this idiotness that these government leaders and our parliamentary leaders are talking about? Because remember, people aren't in a mass psychosis for all of this stuff. Thank God for that. We'd really be in trouble here, wouldn't we, on my channel? We'd all be done for. But they're really questioning this, because like I've said here in Australia, and I'm sure you guys are the same wherever you're living globally, there's no infrastructure. We can't all have electric cars because there's not enough power stations. There just isn't. Gosh, we had a person call in at our work the other day because we've got a battery shop, and they had to have their adapter and come and use our PowerPoint because the local Tesla ones didn't fit their particular car. So there's all this complication because not all of them have the same plug-in device, and then you got to have adapters, and this is just an enormous, what would you say, fiasco that they haven't planned out. And see, this is what I'm saying about these people rolling out the reset agenda. They get knockbacks as well. Don't think that this is all, like I say, the red carpet rolling out and their little agendas just going perfectly to plan. It's not, because people stand up, people push back, people don't take things up, as we know with the MPOX, just to name a few things, and I'm sure there'll be more to come, don't worry. They're really pushing that in Australia here, as they would be globally, because now it's a very big emergency. According to the WHO, yes, World Health Organization has now declared it's an emergency. Yep. More division and divide separating the gay male community. This is just insane. It's so obvious now what they're up to. No good. And that's what we know they're up to. But people are seeing it. And this is great. That's what we want. People can see it. I'll see where else we go with this. Hang on. And this message is for you guys watching my channel. We're not to give up the fight. We've got plenty of fight left in us, and the reason that we have is because we've rested. We've taken time out, we've left our busy schedules behind, and we've found that central place, like I say in the storm, where we've found this peace, this harmony, the centeredness. I always talk about our sort of aligning our chakras and our mind, body, and spirit, and gathering our thoughts, opening up, expanding our chest, not feeling contracted. We've found ways to actually move forward with our life. And that's what the guides are saying. This is why we can regain our strength. If we had to stand up and fight again, we would. We may not have to. There might come opportunities where we may choose to because we want to, because we feel like it's the right thing to do. But we're not. I want you to know, and this is what the guides are saying, we're not alone in that battle anymore. We're not alone in the battle for freedom. And when everything gets back to the core, this becomes about freedom. And that's why we always get that visual of Mel Gibson, like the Braveheart with the sword, and saying they can take our lives, but they can't take our freedom. Because now there's people behind us. They're coming behind us because they want to make a difference now, and they want to stand up. and they want to create change. They don't want to just be walked all over and squashed, because life will be meaningless for them as well. And they know that. We knew that. When we were locked down extra time, when all the unjabbed were allowed to be free, we still probably can't travel to a lot of places. And I know you guys would know that as well over there. It's not just freedom, let's all get going, because certain countries have got very tight restrictions, haven't they? Gosh, I think even a lot of people from where I live go to Fiji and all these islands, but you still got to have a universal vaccination certificate and all this. It's very complicated. Traveling's just not an easy thing anymore. So this is, this is where we're at. We're just at this point where other people, they want their freedom back, as we did back then when we all stood up, or we stood up along the way. Now there's other people coming behind us to join us and help move forward and get this freedom sort of movement. I always talk about these truth movements and whistleblowers coming out and people wanting to expose the truth, and it is happening. You have to trust that these things are happening. We might not be seeing them on a daily basis, but they're happening in the background. People are wanting to come forward because they don't want this. People don't want to live like China. Basically, at the core of all this is China taking over the globe and living in a big dictatorship and having our lives run by these higher-ups who are meanwhile just flying all around the countryside, having their wonderful lives and living in their mansions, and like Bill Gates building a big house right near the ocean. So, climate change can't be that bad, can it? How do they get away with it? I can't believe more people haven't stood up and just freaked out. Hang on, let me see if there's anything else today. Oh, it's the gods. They're saying these tyrants will get their comeuppance. I used that word the other day. I've got a few videos back called comeuppance. My husband uses that word all the time, and it's almost like karma, but it's like they create their own kind of karma. And it always comes back to bite them on the bum, as we talk about here. Things coming back and bite you on the bum. So they're saying a lot of these tyrants are going to get their just desserts. So they're going to get what they deserve. So don't think for 1 minute this is rolling out smoothly and everything's going great, because when people rise up, and I keep saying they will, I think I said September there'll be a bit of movement, it's going to knock some of these parliamentary dictators off their pedestals, and it's going to be great. Because what happens when, even if you knock 1, 2 or 3 off, that starts to shake and crumble the big narrative. It's that house of cards. If you can crumble a few and things start to fall down, then it starts to shake the rest. They start to get nervous and don't want to be exposed and all this sort of thing. So I'm definitely getting that nothing is impossible, and that's what we have to hang on to here, that nothing is impossible. Just let me see if there's any closing messages today. And this is for you guys. They're just saying, keep dreaming, live your best life. Live your best life around this garbage and nonsense. Stay in that center, in that peaceful place. They're showing me like this, pyramid, which is kind of funny because I often joke here about the pyramid scams and Ponzi schemes that these government leaders are doing. But this is a different pyramid. This is about energy. It's the pyramid. The recognition of the pyramid for us is about energy, and it's a sacred energy where we have a very stable base, and we point up to the sort of skies, like the spirits and the skies. But what it's kind of representing as well is that mountain energy. It's kind of, if you think of a pyramid, it's almost like the shape of a mountain, isn't it? So that's what I'm getting for us today. We've found this stability, meaning that the pyramid has this very good stability on the bottom. And then we've got this, it's just about the pyramid energy, but they're also saying to me it's about, if you think of a pyramid, there's usually a tomb beneath, and it's full of a lot of wealth and gold and riches and a lot of valuables. So what it's saying is that deep beneath the surface of us, we have a lot of valuable sort of knowledge, wisdom. We have personal wealth, because we really know now on this channel, or in general, not just on my channel, but anyone who's awake, we know what wealth really is. Wealth is when you're relaxed, you're feeling calm, you're not stressed, you're not living in fear and anxiety. That is what wealth is. And that's what I'm going to leave you with today. The guide said we've got the pyramid energy, but we've got the sacred pyramid energy. So I'm going to leave you with that today. Take care, everybody. Please chat to me down below. You know I love hearing from you. I will say goodbye from Australia. Don't forget to subscribe and hit the bell notification and those like buttons. That helps me heaps. And I'll say goodbye from Australia, and I'll talk to you very soon. Talk to you tomorrow. Bye, everyone.